Tomorrow, the calendar turns to August, and students are one step closer to returning to the classroom. Northern Light Mayo Hospital in Dover-Foxcroft is marking the occasion with the back-to-school bash and vaccination fair. The hope is to allow kids to get off to a healthy start this year by providing vaccinations required for school. But there's so much more that will be offered, including backpacks and gas card raffles, face painting, and healthy living resources. This event got started in 2021 and, due to demand, has returned every year since. Organizers say more than 200 people attended last year, surpassing their expectations.
Any of the required vaccinations through the state of Maine will be available for free. There is an immunization administration fee that will be billed to patients. However, usually insurance covers that.
We have several people coming between NAMI Maine, Finance Authority of Maine, Acadia Hospital will be here to talk about mental health matters. And then we'll have several tables set up on prevention materials regarding alcohol, substance, and tobacco prevention.
Mayo Hospital's back-to-school bash and vaccination fair begins tomorrow at 4 p.m. and goes until 6:30. Kids from infants to high school age can come take advantage of everything there is to offer, and there is no cost to attend. The Darlings ice cream truck will be there collecting donations for the Positive Action Team, a collaboration between Northern Light and local schools.